What up, chicken nuggets? I'm Megan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time joining me on today. Here we use information from celestial bodies to help us gain a better understanding of our favorite celebrities, world events, but most importantly, our damn selves. So thumbs up this video, hit subscribe to become a part of the Astro fam, because you know you want to, okay? Come on in and have a seat. So without further ado, today is going to be more of a transit reading kind of day, okay? Because I felt like coming to you guys with a celebrity transit reading on Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion. So unless you've been hiding under a rock somewhere, the feud between these two women has very much been reignited following Meg's single Hiss. Okay, she released a single called Hiss on Friday, and in the single, she's throwing a bunch of subs at people. Amongst many of those subs was a line that included Meg's Law. Meg's Law is a law in California that was created to protect children against predators, if you get what I'm saying, okay? And of course, this kind of stuck because everybody knows that Nicki Minaj is married to a grapist, a grape juice-ist, if you get what I'm putting down, okay? Kenneth Petty was convicted of grape juice from back when he was like 15. He apparently grape juiced another teenager. Okay, so there's that. Now, after that happened, Nicki Minaj took to Twitter. She did live streams. She went on Queen Radio, and she just went in. You know, she started going in at Meg, calling her Bigfoot, talking about her getting shot. Then she started revealing behind the scenes interactions that she's had with Meg and the things that Meg has said or done to her and the people around her. And Meg definitely has a lot of character flaws. But what Nicki is kind of fucking up at is, number one, either she's not aware or she just does not care about her public perception, because people already don't like her. And I just feel like, you know, another hate train really has been ignited. Neither one of these women are innocent, contrary to popular opinion and public belief. However, Nicki's actions and the way she's handling this, in my opinion, doesn't help, because she's approaching this situation the way she would any other beef with any other rap girly, when in actuality, Meg is more of an anomaly in the sense that after the Tory Lanez shooting, she kind of has been granted immunity from the public. Now, was she a victim of that situation? Absolutely. You know, it has been speculated whether or not Tory shot her or whether it was her best friend, whatever. That's a different video for a different day, okay? People will have opinions and will argue about this to the end of the earth. But the point is, the man is in jail. So for what we know, based on legal evidence and what the courts have said, Tory did it. That leprechaun's in jail. Okay, he's out of here. So at this point, even when it comes to pointing out Meg's character flaws, aside from that, the fact that she has become the face of DV, she's become the face of women's right and, you know, advocacy, which is very Aquarius, by the way, because Aquarius is one of those signs that deals with the collective, right? Humanitarianism. And because of this, it makes it really hard to attack Megan without making it seem like you are in favor of her being shot, or, you know, it's almost like no matter what is being revealed about Meg and the stuff that she does, mind you, this is the self-proclaimed Black Regina George, who was a bully in the movie Mean Girls, right? And despite the fact that Meg and Nicki have actually been subbing each other for quite some time in their music, the general public is clearly not rocking with Nicki. They're not rocking with Nicki. The only people who are rocking with Nicki are the Barbs, okay? And that's just what it is. And a lot of this is it's just a lie. People have their own opinions, whatever, okay? But today I want to talk about the transits that these two women are experiencing, because it very much has a lot to do with how this situation is playing out, okay? And I will preface this video by saying that based on transits and my personal feelings aside, Meg is going to have the best year ever. Really, 2024 is Meg's year. It just is. And we can go ahead and just unpack the reasons behind this. And you'll see exactly how it correlates with the way things are playing out currently. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So in corner A, we have Nicki Minaj, right? Now, Nicki Minaj is currently experiencing a lot of adverse outer planet transits. And by that, I mean lots of harsh transits to her outer planets, which because the outer planets are so heavy, their impact, their influence over your life can be so noticeable. It can really flip your life upside down. For example, she's fresh off of a Pluto square transit, right? Where transiting Pluto is squaring her natal Pluto. Definitely a transit that, once again, could either flip your life upside down. It could be, a symbolism of destruction, things falling apart in your life. And it could be very devastating when it comes, especially with Nicki being a Pluto Libra girly, being very devastating when it comes to like your relationships with people, your public perception. I always call Libra the sign of PR. So lots of bad press, lots of bad PR. She's fresh off of that Pluto square transit. But she also has transiting Pluto in her 12th house of Aquarius, forming a square to her natal Saturn in the 9th house of Scorpio. This is the hate train aspect. So this is an aspect that can ignite a lot of hate and vitriol from other people. And it can do it where she actually may have a lot of enemies. Not to mention, okay, with her having that Pluto square transit and her natal Pluto being in Libra, Libra is the sign of open enemy. So that kind of unleashed this phenomenon of where it's like she's always going to have to like defend herself, if you will. With that transit in Pluto in the 12th house of Aquarius, squaring her Saturn in the 9th house of Scorpio, this could be a lot of hate and vitriol that she's receiving, not only just like online. And it's a lot of these transits you'll notice are heavily impacting her 11th house, which deals with the internet, social media. So you could look at this as like the online backlash and the outrage. And, even when it comes to like groups, like corporations that like where she's made a lot of enemies in business, a lot of enemies within her field, her industry. And it's just, it can actually be very damaging even to her reputation. Not to mention, she is a Capricorn South Node. Capricorn directly rules reputation. Her South Node is in that 11th house. Okay. So on one hand, it could point to where she's had this massive following and has built her career on the backs of her fan base, especially once again online, the Barbs, but as hard as she works and as much as she takes her craft seriously, there could still be issues with people in the industry, right? And we're talking about higher ups when we talk about Capricorn. So people who really just have it out for her, who don't fuck with her. Then she has that Mars in the 12th house of Capricorn. That could be either her doing things behind the scenes, but to be fair and to be objective, it could be other people doing that to her. So she's working against a lot here. She also has a lot of transits that could be indicative of scandal. She's experiencing a Neptune square transit in Neptune, making its way through her 2nd house of Pisces, is squaring her natal Neptune in that 11th house of Sagittarius. So she could lose money as a result of this. This could be her, releasing evidence. She did say she had evidence of the things that Meg has said or done to her, or whatever the case may be. So her releasing evidence or, things just being put out there in the public. This Neptune square transit is actually going to be set in motion with Neptune, transiting Neptune, also squaring Nicki's natal Mercury and Venus. So you could even look at this as her releasing text messages, pictures, people digging up tweets. And this could be done against her, but this could also be, her and even her camp or even the barbs, if you will, right? People on the internet kind of spreading these things or making this information public as well. Also, to be fair, okay, this transit of Neptune squaring Nicki's Mercury could also deal with where her mental health could actually be very unstable. And the fact that she has Mercury and Venus in her social media house deals with like where she'll go on these rants and it's like people can watch her spiraling or what it appears to be spiraling in real time. Now, it's important to keep in mind that, I'm not the type of person that writes people off due to mental health because more than one thing could be true at once. I live and die by that phrase. So a person could be mentally unstable and not necessarily wrong for how they feel or, still telling the truth. Now, on the flip side of things, if I'm being fair, transit Neptune square Mercury can put a person out of touch with reality at best. At worst, it could make for a liar. Okay? It just is what it is. This is also a time period where with transit Neptune square and Nicki's Venus, if I were her, I wouldn't trust people. I wouldn't trust people anyway, and maybe she's like that with her natal South Node in Capricorn, Saturn in Scorpio, where these are people who can be very mistrusting of outsiders. And I understand why, because especially with this transit, everything she says to someone, everything she types, tweets, whatever, will be exposed, will be leaked, so there's that too. Now, the crux of this Neptune transit, specifically transit in Neptune, squaring her natal Neptune, with Nicki being a Sag. She has her Neptune in Sagittarius. Really, it's about taking things that have been hidden and bringing them to light. Trying to decipher what's true and what's not. And her fighting that, or her being in defense of that. That's going to be the theme here. And just from what I've been observing, once again, just popular public opinion, people are saying that she's lying and that she's delusional and that she's out of touch. And also, to be fair, this Neptune or these Neptune transits could also bring about issues with substances. She could very well. Now, what substances? I don't know, because we could say this and maybe she's smoking weed all the time, but some people are saying she's popping pills. I'm going to be real. With her being a Virgo moon, she's fresh off of a Virgo moon, transit in Saturn, opposition in Pisces. She could very well be a pill popper. I'm not even going to hold you. Not going to hold you. I think Nicki is a pill popper or has been at some point. But once again, either way, this Neptune is going to be this Neptune transit is going to be very difficult. And it could spell out a lot of difficulty and a lot of undermining, that's taking place in her career. Some of it could be self-imposed, but there's also a conspiratorial kind of feel to this, Neptune square Neptune transit. Okay. It highlights the fact that she has her Mars in the 12th house Capricorn, and with her being a Capricorn South Node, on one end, this could deal with where, maybe she's somebody who could be sneaky or do things behind the scenes, or, how people say she stopped bags. That could be a placement that could deal with her stopping bags, right? Mars in the 12th house of Capricorn, doing things in a very sneakily roundabout way. But on the other hand, this could make her a prime target when it comes to corporations, businesses, especially with her Saturn in Scorpio, where she's made a lot of enemies. And these people we don't see everybody who's on the playing board. We see one person at a time. When she was into it with Cardi, that's how that happened. Okay, she's into it with Meg, and it's very easy to pick one side or the other, or to take things at face value. And there's a lot more that's happening that we don't really fully understand and that we're not fully seeing. In fact, Nicki also has her transit in Pluto, or transit in Pluto in Aquarius, rather, in her 12th house, squaring her natal Saturn in that 9th house of Scorpio. That's a hate train aspect. That is a conspiratorial aspect in the sense of, institutions, people like collaborating and conspiring against her, or where she's made a lot of enemies. A lot of them are known. A lot of them, even more of them, once again, are unknown. And it could even be a reputation damaging aspect also. And with her being a Capricorn South Node, Mars, her reputation is everything. Everything. And with Mars and Capricorn, these are people who are going to fight for their lives, trying to defend their legacy and their career and their reputation. Also, to be fair, some people say, she's self-sabotaging. Mars in the 12th house of Capricorn could also be self-sabotage. It can. But I, once again, live and die by the phrase, more than one thing can be true at once. And Nicki's natal chart reflects this, and these transits reflect this as well. So is she contributing to the bullshit? Yeah. But could she have a valid reason? And are there other pieces of the puzzle? Absolutely. Nicki also has transiting Venus conjoined to her South Node, that Capricorn South Node. Another reason why, her money could be impacted, her career, could be impacted by this. Definitely. She might even be noticing people switching up on her, people who she thought was cool, or whatever the case may be. Then transiting Saturn is in her first house of Pisces, squaring her Uranus in that 10th house of Sag. Just another career damaging transit that could include a lot of scandal. It's also important to keep in mind that depending on what Aquarius is doing in your chart, transit-wise or even natally, right? So whether you have planets in Aquarius, what house Aquarius is occupying, and what your Uranus is doing, depending on a bunch of different factors, it's going to determine how this Aquarius energy, even Pluto Aquarius transit, is going to impact you. And in Nicki's case, with transit and Pluto in her 12th house of Aquarius at the moment, even though she is also an Aquarius ascendant, this points to the fact that she could be experiencing the lower polarity of this Aquarius energy, which could isolate a person. All right. And it also definitely reinforces that 12th house Mars and Capricorn. Nicki is going to find herself very much isolated a lot. This is imprinted even with these other transits. Isolation, whether it be self-imposed or from other people. You know what I mean? So, that's just what it is. It's what it is. She has a lot stacked against her. Now, y'all know I always like to wrap it right back around to the nodes, because in my opinion, the lunar nodes are the most important part of the chart, because it's just what it's all about at the end of the day. It's the big picture. I'm a Sag. I love big picture shit. Okay. Hurry up and give me the cliff notes. What's the big picture? The big picture is, in this lifetime, Nicki is a person who has to learn how to be more protective when it comes to herself, her family, her private life. But also someone who has to learn how to value and prioritize personal relationships, personal connections over, accolades, right? As a Capricorn South Node and Mars, it's like, okay, we get it. A lot of who you are karmically is tied to, your legacy and, your namesake, right? She spent years building that, and she takes it very seriously. This placement could also be responsible for why she's a bitch. So many Capricorn South Nodes I've known of, rather, I don't know these people personally, but observing them, and even just in my travels, in my studies, during client reads, a lot of these individuals are willing to make themselves the bad guy in the name of success, acquiring power, fame, respect, in the name of climbing up the ranks, right? And they may burn bridges with others or engage in exploitative behavior But in this lifetime, they're supposed to be a lot more personable, and they're supposed to gain a lot more of that validation from the things that are intangible in life. You know what I mean? So when she took a step back to become a mother and all of that, that was kind of the right direction. Not to say that she can't rap, because I know a lot of y'all are ageist. All right. People attacking her age. That's also very Mars and Capricorn. You know, she's old, she's this, and she needs to sit down, and she's a freaky grandma. When in fact, I don't think she needs to stop making music, but she needs to take the approach, kind of the Beyonce approach of, and which Beyonce is also another Capricorn South Node who's done shiesty shit, but it's just behind the scenes, and she has a cult following that will never let people touch her. So we can clock that T too, but that's a different video for a different day. However, Beyonce kind of got the game right by being a recluse anytime that she's not working. She comes out to work and then she gets the fuck away from you niggas. Okay. And she does things on her own time while also prioritizing her family, Cancer North Node, being a mother, and her personal relationships that she really cherishes. Okay. And I feel like Nicki is fighting against this, or that's what it appears to be, because there's a way to do everything. Okay, so that's Nicki. Now, when it comes to Meg the Stallion, now Meg, on the other hand, if you take a look at her transits, it's night and day from Nicki. Meg has transit in Pluto, making its way through her 10th house. It's forming a conjunction to her midheaven. She also she's an Aquarius sun. So her sun is further off in the 10th house rather, but it's still there. And what this symbolizes is that she is going to experience the higher octave of this Aquarian energy. Okay. Especially this Pluto Aquarian boost. And this could re-solidify her career and public standing, especially as someone who, as I mentioned before, is this really big social activist. She has the backing of a lot of people who are very charged up about these social issues. And the social issues that are attached to Megan would be the DV. I think she's come out talking about mental health. So actually, this is very smart when you think about it. Because once again, especially when you're going head to head with somebody who the public has already deemed to not like for A, B, C, and D reasons, it's like you're granted protection. Pluto is protection. You're granted protection from the masses. Now, you could be attacked by the masses, especially if you are outside of, once again, public opinion and popular standing, because Aquarius is one of those signs that needs other people to agree with them. And if you find yourself on the outs, you will be bullied. Okay, this could even be cyberbullying with Pluto in Aquarius. So many people, all they got to say is they agree with Nicki. And I just seen like all kind of shit. Caught people making fun of Nicki's dead father, saying that he's a speed bump, all because Nicki brought up or regurgitated something that Party Fontaine said about Meg's mom. And she wasn't even talking about like Meg's mom being dead or making fun of her mom being dead. She was just speaking to the fact that allegedly, right, according to Party, that Meg lies on her dead mother. Whatever. And people say like, oh, well, you shouldn't have brought that up, whatever. The point is, it's the difference between how these two are experiencing this Pluto Aquarius transit is night and day. Something else that Meg also has working for her is the fact that she has this transit in Pluto forming a sextile to her natal Pluto in the 7th house of Sagittarius. Now, she's somebody who can also receive a lot of hate and vitriol, especially with Pluto in the 7th house. But what's working for her is that this sextile, once again, protects her. It gives her protection in the sense that it's like she has this extra boost of power and support from people and from the general public, and where her PR team could really be doing their one too, and she's following instructions and they're just setting her up for the win. This could be her global superstar era with this Pluto sextile. Yeah, I know I don't too much care for the girl, but I gotta call it the way I see it. This is an excellent transit to have. And it's an excellent career building transit. She has social media and like the progressive social media and even Gen Z. And I view Gen Z as that Pluto generation, the Pluto Sagittarius generation anyway. She has them on her side. Okay. And that's another way that you can look at Pluto and Sagittarius sextiling, transiting Pluto and Aquarius and how that's helping her. People are definitely in support of her because they feel like she is justified, that she's the pillar of justice, social justice, and all this other stuff. And that transit, particularly the Pluto transit, the transit in Pluto making its way through her 10th house, all of that is going to happen just throughout the year, honestly, various dates throughout the year. But if we want to be concise, transiting Pluto will be conjoined to her midheaven in that 10th house. It's going to go exact to her midheaven on the 6th of February, I believe, the 7th of August, and then the 13th of December. Basically all year, bro. Like I said, all year, she's winning. She's winning. And, it speaks for itself. Now, natally, Meg has a lot of karma tied to her ability or inability to tell the truth. Shade, no shade. She has that South Node in the 12th house of Taurus, which could deal with burying evidence, or just somebody who, there's a lot to her that we don't know. And the issue with stan culture, y'all, is that a lot of people, and this is the Pluto Sagittarius girlies, they go so hard. And even Barb's too, because, any celebrity who has a cult following, things can get really nasty. And Nicki Minaj is no different. Her following is no different. But so is Beyonce's following. The Beehive, they do unspeakable things to people who come out against Beyonce. Meg the Stallion supporters, Cardi B supporters. We can go on and on. But the issue with stan culture is that you tie so much of your energy and, your life force into defending, fighting for, whatever the case, people who, at the end of the day, y'all don't know these people. You know what they want you to know. Because as a celebrity, your brand, you are your brand. You're selling yourself. And in the name of being marketable, there are certain things that people are going to see. There are certain things people will not see. Some celebrities do a better job at it or of it than others. And it is what it is. But at the end of the day, y'all don't know these people. And I will die on this hill. More than one thing could be true at once. Meg is not the innocent little bunny lamb that y'all think she is. But I will give it to her. She is experiencing an up season. She's experiencing an up season. So for what it is, for what it's worth, people could find out she said and done all kind of shit, and it's not going to matter in comparison. Just because there's so much more documented, whether it be evidence or a long-standing history of people not liking Nicki Minaj, and then you got other people, conspiring against her. It's a lot going on. But every dog has their day. Every dog has its day. And in certain ways, Nicki is receiving her karma as well. But Meg the Stallion is not an innocent bunny lamb. And she's also not exempt. She's just experiencing an up season at the moment. Okay. So, hey, I can't hate on that. It is what it is. So y'all let me know what y'all think about these transits. I'm pretty sure y'all are going to give me your opinion on the situation down below. Yeah, it is what it is, y'all. So have fun with that. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.